Yo, what's going on, guys? I can't even express like my energy level right now, man. I have just I've had one of those kind of days. You know what I mean? Everything went well. It was a long day, but everything went awesome. With the Army at work today. I've been listening to some really good stuff, taking some notes. I have some awesome stuff, coming to you guys on Saturday. I broke 500 on the business page. I just can't. It's really crazy. I'm on 10, guys. I'm up here through the roof. All right. But tonight I'm going to give you seven a 7-step formula to be able to tell powerful stories. I can't even talk. I'm so excited. I'm so jacked up. Right. So a 7-step formula to be able to tell a powerful story. Now, guys, I have a military type mind. Okay, so we work on a crawl, walk, run type mentality when we're training, when we're learning new things. And if you go back and you look at some of my other videos, that's exactly what I'm doing here. If you've been with me from the beginning, I talked about the number one thing you needed to grow your business, which is an audience. Then we talked about the number one way to grow your audience on social media, right? Through videos. Then we talked about a three-step formula to help post to your audience on social media. And now we're talking about 7 steps to be able to provide them with a powerful story, guys. All right, so let me ask you this. How many of you guys like a good story? How many of you guys are all about TV shows, movies? Maybe some of you are, like to read a novel, or, think about it this way, guys. Like, think about when we were kids, or if you have kids, how much they're drawn to bedtime stories and things like that. So before I go all the way off the rails here, guys, let me ask you a couple questions. How would it feel if you could convey a powerful story to your audience without thinking about it, right? A formula to just plug and play and be able to deliver that. Okay. And how would it make you feel if you had hundreds or even thousands of people that just resonated with your story, right? So being a good storyteller, we all know them. We know the guy at work, or we know, our girlfriend that they just tell really good stories, the way they get into it, the way they're animated. It's just, like you can't wait to listen to what it is that they got to say, right? And our TV series are the same way. How many Game of Thrones fans do I have out there, right? So if you're a Game of Thrones fan and you loved every episode, drop me a got down in the comments, okay? So now, if you had those two things, guys, if you had a way to do it and, you had these people resonating with you, what would that be worth to you? What would it do for your business? Okay. And don't worry, guys, I'm going to give it to you for free, plus 4 tips on how to make sure that you deliver that successfully. Okay. As always, guys, I'm your host, Daniel Carmack. As you jump on here, make sure you drop in the comments, your name and where you're coming in from. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure you drop me a hashtag replay so I can come back in and give you a shout out later on. All right, guys. So let's get into it, guys. The number one thing that you need, or the first thing you need when you are telling your story, guys, is you got to have a character. Okay. And I'll go back to Game of Thrones. There's so many just dynamic characters in that series. It was just unbelievable. If you were all about Jon Snow, if you were all about Daenerys Targaryen, if maybe you were on the Lannister side and you just, you love the way that Cersei and Jaime, plotted against everything. There was just so many different, maybe you're a Tyrion fan, but you have to have a character. Maybe it's you, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a colleague, it's somebody, but somebody has to go through that journey. Okay. So number one, you have your character. Number two, you got to have a problem. and let me just back up for a second, guys. As you remember, if you listen to what I said a few minutes ago, the crawl, walk, run phase, what I'm going to provide you tonight is going to play in part some of the things that I've talked about before, right? So number one, we got a character, and number two, we have a problem. What is it? What is the dilemma that your character is facing? What type of situation have they encountered that they have to overcome? Okay. So number one, character. Number two, problem. Number three, you have to have a guide. If it's a Gandalf from Lord of the Rings, or if it's something that they find along their journey, if it's something that helps provide insight to one way or another, right? Something that resonates them, that teaches them a lesson that will help them through that problem. It'll help them find the solution, reach the end goal, right? Okay, so number one, we have character. Number two, we have problem. And number three, we have guide. So number four, guys, is we have to have a plan, right? So they found, they realized the problem, they found the guide, the person or the thing, whatever it is that's helping them, to take decisive action, or at least give them ideas on how to solve that problem, right? But you got to have a plan. We all know you either plan to fail, or if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? So we have the plan. Now, number five is going to come down to the decisive action. Okay, do they decide to take action? Your character, right? They've faced the problem. They have their guide. Now they formulated a plan. Do they take action or not? All right. So number five is action or inaction. All right. So when they formulate their plan, now do they act on that or do they not? Okay. And then number six and number seven, they kind of go together, guys. And it's really just results. Okay. I got this from a mentor. And if you could sum it up, then number six and seven would be results. But number six is, did they find success with their solution? Okay. Or with their plan. I'm sorry. So did they have success? Or step number seven, did they fail? Did they have failure? Okay. So guys, again, I know I'm jacked up. I'm talking super fast. And again, it's just one of those days that as a business owner, made some money. It's just everything today has come together and it's just freaking awesome, really. All right. So let me run back through those. Okay. Number one, got to have your character. Who is it that's going to take this journey? Number two, what is the problem? What is the situation that they encounter that they have to overcome? Number three, their guide. What is it that has helped them to identify, solutions, avenues of approach to fix or overcome the problem that they have, right? Number four is their plan. How do they plan to overcome the problem? Okay. Number five, do they take action or inaction? Okay. Do they do something, or do they decide just to stay in their shell and do nothing? All right. And then number six is success, and number seven is failure. So what was the results of their plan? Okay. Now, when you're putting this together and you can convey, again, let's go back to, the TV shows or the series analogy, right? The TV show, the movies. Think about all the Marvel movies, right? So as you are delivering your story, you want to make sure that you're conveying it in a way that gets them excited, that creates curiosity, that wants them to dive in and know, how did Jon Snow save the day? Like, what is it that they were able to come around and how? So you want to make sure that you create that curiosity, And so the 4 tips to deliver your story, okay? Number 1, guys, you want to make sure that there's structure to it. Okay, if it's, if you follow it chronologically, start to finish, whatever the case is, you want to make sure that there's structure so that your audience can follow you on the journey. So that way they can relate to each piece, the trial, the tribulations, the success. All right, so that way it resonates with them, and they're just thinking like, wow, okay, that was super great. Okay. The number 2 tip is you want to make sure that it's clear. All right. You want to make sure that your story conveys a clear message to your audience. All right. So then that way they understand what's going on. You don't want it all jumbled up like I was kind of in the beginning. I know we get, excited, but you want to make sure that it's clear. You want to make sure that they understand what it is that they're getting out of taking this journey with you. Right. Number 3 is you want to make sure that you tell a complete story. Don't leave out the ending, right? How many times have we watched a movie and it just kind of cuts off and we're left like, what was that? Like, what happened? Right? So if you've been in those kind of situations, guys, give me the peace sign emoji, right? Because I know too often we get to the point where we're like, I really don't know. Or think about when you walk into halfway through a conversation and you just hear a certain part of that conversation and you're scratching your head and you're like, so what is this about? Because the message I'm picking up, I don't think that's the right message. Okay. So make sure that you tell a complete story, guys. Bring it full circle. All right. And then finally, and probably most importantly, guys, okay, most importantly, and I'm going to try to bring it down just a notch so that way I can make sure that I convey this point, right, is it needs to be authentic, guys, okay? It needs to be genuine. Your audience is going to be able to see through the BS. They're going to know if it's legit, if it's good. They're going to be able to tell in your body language and your mannerisms. They're going to be able to see what it is that you're, I guess, the energy, if you will, the energy that they're putting out. Okay. So you don't tell lies. Don't make things up, guys. Every one of us has a story to tell. Okay. Every one of us has points to make. We've been through something, in our entrepreneurial journey. We all have a story. Okay. So just make sure, and you can borrow, if you need to borrow your story, if you're trying to talk to people about their business and, how to, there's different things that they can do. You can borrow other people's stuff. Just make sure that you give credit where credit is due. Okay, don't try to paint it up as something that you created and and then it's really not. Okay, so just be and again, guys, I always talk about from our standpoint, it's about them. It's about their business. It's about helping them grow, right? And so when you're authentic and you're genuine, then your audience will love and respect and appreciate that so much more than some outlandish story, that you made up. Okay, so let's run back through those real quick, guys. The seven-step formula: 1, character; 2, problem; 3, guide; 4, plan; 5, action or inaction; 6 is success; number 7 is failure. Okay, and then to deliver that, the 4 tips is make sure it has structure. All right, make sure that it's clear. Make sure your message is concise. Make sure you tell a complete story. All right, bring them full circle. Make sure they understand, what happened in the beginning and understand what happens in the end. And then 100%, guys, just be authentic. Okay, so hey guys, that's it. I know it's late. I know everybody had a long day. I'm gonna try to I don't know, get a tranquilizer or something to bring me down, so that way I can start winding down. But thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching. It's awesome. Like I said, I've been really digging into some stuff this week, guys. So Saturday, it's I would. I hope you don't miss it, because Saturday is going to be some good stuff. It's going to make you think about some things. It's going to make you do some evaluation about where it is, where you are, where you want to go, and what you want to do in the future. Okay, so guys, if you're liking these tips, click on the link in the description. Jump over to www.wecreateourownfreedom.com and sign up for the free boot camp, guys. It's 100% free. It just walks you through a lot of the things that I talked about. There's tips and guides from some of the experts in our industry to help you. Maybe the things that they say, maybe their story might resonate with you a little differently than mine. So if you just jump over there, sign up for that, guys, and I'll see you on Saturday. Remember, take care, be safe, and live life. And always remember, we create our own freedom. Thanks, guys. I'll see you on Saturday.